Hi, I'm Darci and welcome to NYSSBA News. Over the next few weeks, I will be introducing you to some past NYSSBA presidents. The idea for the interviews was to get some personal thoughts on significant accomplishments and greatest challenges as president, and to also provide some advice for new school board members. In today's segment, we asked our past presidents what their greatest challenges were as president and school board member. Take a look.
I think the most important relationship that needs to be developed with a school board member and the school district is trust in the superintendent. To select a superintendent that he can trust and believes in, give him that trust and let the superintendent run the district.
As a school board member, the greatest challenge is one that you very well may encounter. That's the elimination, if you will, of your superintendent. That happens across the state, and you can see it by the rotation of superintendents. I had, as president of the Greece School Board Association, given the chore of telling the superintendent that he was no longer needed. And the way I did it, and I think is a better way to do it, is I called up the superintendent and I said, I'd like to meet with you as soon as possible. And he said, well, come to the office. I'm here. I said, no, I'd like to meet you at your home. And I did meet him at his home, and of course, by saying that, I think he picked up that there was something serious. And I told him that the Board of Education had determined that they would like to have him submit his resignation at the next board meeting. And we told him that he could name any reason that he wanted as to why he was resigning from the school district. I think that is a more tolerable way to do it, a more compassionate way to do it to the superintendent. Gives him the opportunity to designate why he is resigning, as opposed to headlines in the newspaper, Greece Central School District fires their superintendent. So, and also, if you do it in the office, everybody in the office is going to pick it up right away. This way, it's a much pleasanter way to do it, if you will, for the superintendent. Gives him the opportunity to think about what he's going to say as to why he is resigning. And that was a hard job to do, but most boards are going to face that at one time or another.
As a school board member, we undertook a capital project in the year 1989. It was a very large project, a new high school, revamp of the older high school, a 1960s building into a new middle school program, closing of a 1930s building that had been the high school, and a major addition onto our primary and elementary schools, which would also include space for full-day kindergarten. It was the first really major project in the state from over a long period of time. The issues were deeply embedded in what we wanted for the long-term quality of education in our community. But we lost the first vote, and it was a very difficult thing to go through. And to put out a second vote, we wanted to make sure that we kept in the program those things that we thought were really vital, and we were successful, and we certainly felt very good about that accomplishment. And I'm very pleased that we have that high school in our community.
Convincing people to accept change. There's an old straw that says the only constant in life is change, and I believe in that sincerely. The problem is getting people to accept change beyond words. To talk about it is one thing. To have the courage to take the risk in venturing into a changed environment is quite another. It takes a lot of courage to do that because risk is going to sometimes result in failure. But we have to, one of the things I try to tell people is that failure is not a bad thing, as long as you know what the target is. Failure is a positive thing because you've discovered something that won't work, and that's nothing new. Thomas Edison used that story famously in his work to discover the element for this newfangled thing called the light bulb. So having the courage to take the risk and to risk failure, but in the name of some winners also, and those winners far overshadow any losses from other efforts. So that change is difficult. It's very difficult to do because typically in a school district it involves economics, it involves people, it involves people's careers, and they really have to be willing and prepared to accept that change.
Thanks for joining us today. Next week, we'll ask our past presidents what one piece of advice they would like to share with newly elected school board members. Have a great day. I'm Darci for NYSSBA News.